Hello. I just had to turn high definition off because sometimes I think it really affects. So I hope you guys can still see and hear me. It's lovely to see you all. How are you doing? I've got some comments in here. Nikki, so good to see you on this webinar. It's nice to have you here. Carla, thank you. Hi, Jan from Canada. Okay, so we do on these webinars, just let me know in the chat box where you're coming in from. Hi, James. Hi, Susie from a hot Chicago. It is better than snowy days. I love the warm weather. Hi, Linda from Madison. Hi, Laura from Portugal. Karen from Nebraska. Jen from Ohio. Amy from Suffolk. Everyone's suffering here. It's probably pretty cold there right now. Hi, Felicia from London. It is so good to see you guys here. And I'm here to do another webinar. It's really auspicious, actually. So as you guys tell me, okay, so please, if you're here in the room, tell me where you are. Jenny from the Ozarks. I love Ozark. This is Jenny, hi. It's so good to see you here. Greetings from Oregon. For any of you who doesn't know about Ozark, it's on Netflix. They've got like the second season 2 or season 3 right now. It's really incredible. So go and watch that on Netflix, by the way. Joyce from Oswego. Angela from Alabama. Forrest Gump, one of my favorite movies. Judy from North Pennines. Susan from Michigan. Susan, hi. I'm going to see you so soon. Carla from Houston, thank you so much, guys, for attending, for being here right now. I am super excited to host this for you. Megan loves the Ozarks as well. So this is gonna say I absolutely love that show. Stephanie from Haiti, hi Stephanie, it's so nice to see you here. Thank you, guys. Stephanie loves Forrest Gump too, of course. Alabama. I actually, funnily enough, I'm from England, for those of you who don't know, and Oxford is where I grew up. And in Oxford, we have an American air base. And in my school, my best friend in school was American. She was on this American air base, and she actually was from Pennsylvania, I think it was, or somewhere like that. But anyway, my best friend at school was American. My husband is actually American as well. But she was from Pennsylvania. Anyway, just a bit of trivia for you. Pia, oh my God. Hi, darling. That's amazing that you're here. Beverly from Jamaica, Heather from Richmond. Okay, so I don't want to keep you guys any longer than I have to because I really want to teach this content to you. I know you've come here to learn about consulting, and in all honesty, this is also about learning how to secure clients. This is like a kind of double-edged sword thing here going on that I want to teach you today, and I'm super excited to do that. Just a little bit of news from my side. I have just attended the so right now I'm in Egypt and I'm in El Guna where I live, and I've just attended the El Guna Film Festival. We have somehow I managed to hustle a media pass. Don't ask me how, because I'm not media. But I actually managed to hustle a media pass. Where is my pass right now? I'll even show you. This is my media pass. I am actually like a media representative to something. What, I don't know. But that's a manifestation for you. And we've got Sylvester Stallone here. We've got Clive Owen, who's in like the James Bond movies. We've got Owen Wilson, who's like the voiceover of Cars. He's been in loads of like weird comedy shows. And who else have we got here? Pierce Brosnan apparently is here as well. So I have this media pass, which I'm going to have over the next 7-8 days. Which will give me access to the media areas to interview these celebrities for a fictional media publication that I don't own. But anyway, it's all good. Jennifer says Pierce Brosnan is so lovely. He's here right now. Owen Wilson, absolutely love him. So that's basically where I'm at right now. I've actually been to the I had to actually leave to come and do this webinar. I've just been in the place where they're doing the opening ceremony for this whole El Laguna Film Fest. It's like film festival, you know, like Cannes Film Festival. So they've actually just I've actually just had to come away right now. I wish I could show you an image. I would just send you an image because it would be so easy right now to do that. But I was they had celebrities pulling up in, this is Egypt, but they're pulling up in the London black cabs, and they're getting out, and there's all the photos and everything happening, and I'm just standing there with my iPhone taking photos of these people, and I'm not anybody. So just so you know that's what's been happening in my life. And today as well, just as a final thought before we start going into the presentation, because I will teach you something useful today, but before we start going into the presentation, it's actually it would have been my father's birthday today. So he would have been, if he was still alive, he died in 2015, but he would have been 71 today. So I'm just gonna say happy birthday to my dad, who is not here with us right now. But he would have been 71 had he still been with us. So thank you so much, Stephanie Fazira. Stephanie loves Pierce. Who doesn't love Pierce Brosnan? I mean, God, he's just lovely. Owen Wilson's great too. Okay, so I hope that during this time where I have this media pass, I will be able to somehow mingle with the rich and famous. I don't know. We'll see. But thank you, guys. Okay, so what we're going to do today is, obviously, you're all here for a reason. You're all here for me to teach you. He looked pretty nice in Mrs. Doubtfire. He did. He was much younger then in Mrs. Doubtfire, but still, yeah, he looked nice. And he's kind of going grey now, but yeah, he looked pretty nice. Anyway, sorry, guys. Run by fruiting. Jennifer, that's very funny. Anyway, you guys are so funny. If you're watching the replay, I'm very sorry, because the chat room there's so much going on in there right now, and I really try and not get distracted by what's going on in the chat, and I will try and do that. With 7 minutes in now, I really need to teach them content. So I'm going to go to the presentation now. I'm going to teach you some content. We're going to talk about consulting today. We're going to talk about making money through consulting. We're going to go through the motions. I hope that you get a lot of value out of this webinar today. I love doing these things for free. It's absolutely lovely, not just to be able to teach something, but just simply to be able to connect with you, and also for you to be able to connect with each other, because the online world can be a very lonely place sometimes. And just so you know that there is a lot of people here, and if you want to talk amongst yourselves, that's fine. But there is also a chat, sorry, not a chat, a question area that you can submit questions. So if you want to, at any time during this presentation, submit a question to me about anything, finding clients, doing consulting, anything you want, then I will get to those questions at the end. Hannah finally made it from LA, Antigua, Guatemala. Amazing. Okay, so thank you so much for joining. In case you missed it, we do have yes, sorry, one thing as well, one additional thing before I start teaching the content. There is a moderator in this room. If you want to ask a question, if you don't ask it in the ask a question function thing, Megan is going to come in here and she's going to actually post it as a question for me as well. So if you miss the question feature, which is in here, don't worry, just post it as a comment and I will be able to get to you. Hi, Maria from California. Okay, so without further delay, because I don't want to keep you guys any longer with all my just random chit chat, I am going to share my screen with you, and hopefully you'll be able to see my presentation. I'm going to take you through the presentation. I'm going to teach the content. And as always, at the end of the content, we're going to do Q&A. So I'm here for you for Q&A. Anything you want to ask, just simply let me know. So I'm going to share my screen right now. And on this screen, we're going to go into full screen mode. So hopefully I can actually show you from here what we're doing. Okay, so I actually see this screen. I've got my computer on the right of me here, so I can actually see this screen on the right of me. And I hope that you can too. So if you can, just give me a little message in the chat to let me know that you can see this. Amy, all good, awesome. Okay, so we've had actually a couple more people join, so I just want to say to you guys, if you have any questions about this presentation before we get to the end of it, please just post those at some point or other. One of us will get to questions, but I will personally be answering questions at the end. There is a moderator in the chat who is able to post these as questions for you, or you can just simply, or she will let me know. Either way, you'll get your question answered. And I hope you guys have a nice time. Hi, Michael. Hi, Deb. Hi, everybody. Okay, so teaching the content here, right? So in this presentation or this webinar today, you are going to discover a straightforward blueprint for creating thousands in additional revenue, which identifies prospects, filters them, and turns your ideal customers into long-term clients quickly and without the steep learning curve. And for anybody who knows me, who knows what I teach, I'm very much focused on sustainability. I'm very, very much focused on long-term goals. I'm very much focused on acquiring business that is going to set you up for the long term. There are so many people out there right now teaching online business, but they're teaching the quick fixes. And unfortunately, with the quick fixes, sometimes you find that the quick fixes end up like one-hit wonders. You don't really go much further than that. And that's not what I teach. What I teach is long-term sustainable business. And in the service industry, which is the industry that I'm in, you need to really focus on the long-term goals, on the good clients, on the profitable clients, on the people that are going to work with you over longer periods of time, not just the people who are just kind of like here and gone in 5 minutes. So this is what we're going to learn here. It's not necessarily how to only obtain those clients that are going to work with you long term and pay you what you're actually worth, but what we're going to focus on here is doing that as part of it. So I know a lot of freelancers like to do a little project work, like to do a little bit here and there, you know, like to take in bursts of income. That's fine too. But this is about adding on that possibility that you can sustain a long-term client in consulting. So this is what we're going to learn today. So you're going to discover the simple 5-step consulting process that will have your VA business thriving really fast. When I say VA, because a lot of people actually who attend my webinars don't understand about the VA concept, but it's basically virtual assistant. And for me, is anybody that can provide a service online through the internet. Okay, so it's not about, oh, I'm a graphics designer, or I'm an admin person, or I manage people's calendars, or I do customer support, or I build websites. It's not about that at all. It's about everything. It's about whatever you can do that provides a service to other people online, on the internet. And this is what we're going to be discussing today. So if you have the ability to be able to provide any service online as a freelancer, we're talking about virtual assistants, but whatever it is, you can use this process that we're going to be teaching for whatever it is you do, as long as you provide some kind of service online. So for those of you who don't know me, a little bit of housekeeping. My name is Michelle Dale, and 3 things that I want to share with you about me. This is a photo that I took in Bali last year on a retreat, and we're about to do another retreat here in October, so I'm going to have some new photos soon. But this is me. I joined the industry in 2005, so I started working online on the internet exclusively in 2005, and I was 24 years old in 2005, and I'm 37 this year. So I've been doing this for a fair number of years. And I did it because simply I wanted to be able to have the ability to be able to live and work from anywhere in the world without having the obligation of earning money specifically from one location. So that's how I got started in this industry. Since I started in 2005, I've created a multi-six-figure virtual assistant business from scratch. Like literally, I knew nothing when I started. And then I moved, living in 7 different countries, traveling to many, many other countries during that time as well. So I never actually, from the age of 24, I never went back to employment. My business was basically what sustained me from the time I decided I was going to start it. And I met my husband in Egypt. He's from California, and I had 3 kids, and I raised those 3 kids basically on the road. They go to international school now. They're bilingual. They speak fluent Greek. You know, so I kind of like have this kind of hodgepodge of a life, but it works for me. And my passion is really being able to facilitate other people achieving the life that they want to achieve. Now, I'm not saying that whether you want to travel or you don't want to travel, or whether you want kids or you don't want kids, or anything like that is correct or incorrect. I teach people, like, the first thing I'm interested in is what kind of a life do you want to live? And then I teach people how to adapt working online to their specific lifestyle. So that's me. And I'm also the creator of One Sourcing, which is a kind of alternative VA service for people working online. So VA, again, it's virtual assistants, kind of an alternative way of working online. It's a methodology. It's a kind of way of working which is different to the freelancer kind of way, but it's more structured. And I'm a very type A personality. I like a lot of structure in my work. I like a lot of structure in my business. And One Sourcing provides that for any type of service provider. So let's say, for example, you're somebody who just wants to work in a team, wants to take your money every month and doesn't want to think about anything else, that's fine. If you're somebody who's more entrepreneurial, wants to build a business, have a team, working with multiple different clients, that's fine too. If you're somebody even who wants to teach what you're learning, that's also fine too. So One Sourcing is kind of like an all-encompassing online business model. And depending on who you are and where you want to work, there is always a place in that model for you. So that's me. And today you'll learn the fastest, simplest, and most profitable way to start consulting in your virtual assistant business. And it's easier than you think. And again, when I say VA business, I'm talking about any online service providers. Okay, so you don't need to necessarily label yourself as a virtual assistant, but you need to be able to provide some kind of service online or transfer some kind of knowledge online. And a lot of people say to themselves, well, I'm not consultant, I've never done consulting and things like that. As long as you have a skill, as long as you have any skill, then you can be a consultant. And that's what we're going to discuss today. So you can learn this. You'll learn how to end all your worries, doubts, and overwhelm about getting a solid consulting process in place so you can finally have total confidence with each and every prospect. And you'll see a simple 5-step process that will seriously impress prospects and help you secure long-term clients, even if you don't feel secure. Do you know the last time I taught this webinar was a year ago, 1 year ago? And I was releasing the beta program of my consulting program. And when I do the beta release, I kind of do it on a small scale and I invite a few people in and we kind of test the program and things like that. And within 1 week of starting the beta of the program, we had such phenomenal feedback from the consultations that were coming in. from people who are saying, oh my God, this is phenomenal. Nobody's ever asked me these questions before. No one's ever done this with me before. This is amazing. So for me, to be able to teach us a year down the line where we've really refined and polished the material and kind of got it up to a level where I feel it's like really, really professional. It's been tested and many people have gone through this program. To me, this is kind of like really amazing to be able to do this a year later where it's all been tested and polished. But yes, this will seriously impress prospects, and the feedback that we've had from the people who have taken the program already is very, very positive in terms of what they've had back from prospects. So you will also learn on this webinar exactly where you need to be directing your marketing efforts for your business, for your online business. How many virtual assistants are approaching their consulting process from the wrong angle, which is something I did. I know a lot of VAs approach their consulting from the wrong angle, because I personally did this myself for actually more than a year before I discovered how to do it correctly, which I'm going to teach you today, and a simple way to effectively communicate, establish authority, and to build trust really, really fast with your potential clients. And at the end of this webinar, as always, when I do these webinars, I always offer a chance to work with me one-on-one or as a group setting. So I will be making an offer at the end of this webinar, but whether you get the offer or not, don't worry, you're still going to get value from the free content inside what I'm going to teach today. And the reason this is different is because you might have attended other webinars in the past where they kind of teach you certain things, but I'm going to give you the exact blueprint for moving forward with your consulting business. From this webinar, I'm going to give you real actionable steps that you can take away right now for free and just kind of implement yourself. You'll be guided step by step through the entire process, which means you'll be leaving the training 100% able to achieve the clarity and focus that you need to create a profitable consulting business. And if you're already doing well in consulting, you'll also maybe get a few tips and tricks and things like that, or strategies that will help you move forward a little bit further. And don't forget as well, I'm also doing Q&A at the end of this presentation. So if you have any questions about consulting online as a virtual assistant or a freelancer or providing a service online, don't hesitate to ask, because I'm here to answer those for you at the end of this presentation. So first of all, I want to discuss the problem, because before we can move on to the solution, we have to talk about the problem. So, and also I want to make sure you're in the right place with me right now on this webinar, because if you're not, then you might want to leave, but I hope you aren't. So this webinar is going to help you if you have great advice to offer, okay, but you end up giving it away for free. This is the most common problem amongst virtual assistants, is that they start with potentially working with a client, and then they basically just decide, oh, I really want this client, so I'm going to go through this process. I'll give them a free consultation. Okay, nothing against that, by the way. That's part of this process. But what happens is we give the free consultation, and then we start saying, you can do this, and this is a great idea, and you can do this too, and this is, and then you should go ahead and do this, and this is, and then what happens is you've given away a completely entire bunch of free advice to the client, and then they go away and take it to whoever they're going to take it to, and then you have basically either lost the client or you've lost the ability to be able to make money from what you know. Okay, so this is really a problem. And yes, people are saying, this is me. Yes, 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 that's me. Okay, so this is true. Okay, I give away the info and then try to get them to pay me to implement. I'd rather get paid for the info. Exactly, this is what we're talking about here. And believe me, you will gain more respect from these potential clients if you can charge for this upfront than you would if you were giving it away for free. Not many people realize that, but it's absolutely true. But we still need the free element in there. So this is what I'm going to teach you today, how you can essentially not give away your expertise and your worth and your self-value for free, but we are still giving something for free. But what you do is you save all the good stuff to get paid for it. That's what we want to do. Okay, we want to get paid for it. That's the most important thing. And you can get paid very well for this kind of stuff. So on consultation calls, you often are not sure how best to lead the conversation or what to say. So this is another common problem. The first thing is like we give away all our stuff that we know for free. The second common problem is that we don't really know how to lead authoritatively the conversation when we want to lead into charging for our expertise. So this is another thing. So what we end up doing is, because we don't know the official lead, and it's a very elegant lead into it, by the way, when we don't know how to lead into it, we kind of end up just saying everything and giving it away for free because we feel like that's what we need to do. Again, that's not what you want to do. And you're not 100% certain of your approach to consulting, and you feel you have a lack of confidence. This is another one. So a lot of people feel that their confidence isn't there, that they are able to charge for what they're sharing with someone. And then it kind of like, you get this kind of like in a pickle where like, oh, what do I say for free? What do I want to charge for? Can I even charge for it? That type of thing. So this is a problem that we face as online service providers when we're looking at doing consulting, because we are so focused, particularly on getting the business for the task related work, that we try to give away all our kind of like, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing this. We kind of give that away for free. And then what happens is we don't end up winning either way. And that's a problem. And I know that's a problem because it's not just me who's experienced that, but I've seen that in multiple virtual assistants across multiple years. And this is not something that needs to happen. It's not necessary for it to happen. It shouldn't happen. So does this sound like you? You want to be able to charge decent fees for your advice, okay? Decent is a good word because decent fees is different for everyone. To somebody who's based in the Philippines, decent is very different to someone who's based in America, to someone who's based in the United Kingdom. Okay, so decent is whatever decent means to you, and you determine what decent is. So you want to be able to charge decent fees for what you're doing. You want to feel confident when you're securing client business. And believe me, clients are more likely to secure you if they've paid for the information up front that they want to secure you for. And again, this is like so ironic because we think we have to give in order to secure the end result with the task-based stuff. What we really want to do is gain the respect of the client by saying, okay, I'm going to give, and then I'm going to give some more if you pay me. And then I'm going to give even more if you work with me. So this is what we're looking to do inside this process. You'll also see how valuable consulting can be for you, because really consulting, I've recently launched a 6-figure program. So for anybody who knows me, anybody who's on the webinar, the 6-figure webinar where I release this like 6 figures in 12-month program, consulting is an integral part of that program. So right now people are in month 1, we're moving into month 2, they're working on their 6-figure business, but consulting, which is what we're going to talk about today, is an absolute integral part of achieving a 6-figure income. So you'll see how valuable consulting can be for you. And there's something stopping you from creating the level of success that you want, but you're not quite sure why. Why do I do these things? Why do I give this away for free? Why can't I stop myself? That type of thing. A lot of the time is because you don't have your structure in place. If you have your structure in place, you have your boundaries in place. If you have your boundaries in place, you're going to charge what you're worth and you're going to get paid what you're worth. So this is something we're also going to discuss in here. So if you answered yes to any of the questions, then you're absolutely in the right place right now. And I'm going to talk about why you should listen to me and why you should continue with listening to the webinar and taking this training. Now, for me, there was always a process of that it never really felt right. So I started consulting a couple of years into my business, okay? It was about 2 to 3 years into my business. I decided I was gonna start consulting because I was giving everything away for free. I didn't quite feel right about that. You know, I would like invest so much time and energy and effort into giving advice to the client. It never felt right to me. So I decided that I was gonna charge a fee of £50 for a consultation for anyone who needed advice from me, okay? £50. And at the time, £50 was like double what I was charging as an hourly rate at that time. And to be honest with you, I was really stressed out because I was spending hours on proposals and consultations to secure these clients and realizing at the end I was giving advice away for free, but it rarely had any structure to what I was doing because, you know, like even if I charged £50, it still was way more like work than £50 was worth to me. So I actually couldn't see a way out of that cycle, but I knew at the time that consulting could be profitable, but I just simply couldn't seem to make it work. So I made a discovery. At that time, I realized one day when I pretty much got to the end of my rope, I even remember the client I was working for, I put like 10 hours into this proposal. It was so detailed and it had so much in it, and it was just like blah blah blah, and I didn't secure the client at the end, but I just given him this proposal. And for me that was like, no, this is like I'm doing this wrong because I just given this client this proposal. He doesn't want to work with me, but he's just taken it away and got that. And it was never really about whether I was able to meet the client's demands anymore. It should have, and it always should have been this way, about whether the client was able to fit in with me. And to me, that was like a revelation. It was like, wait a minute, I'm people pleasing here. I'm trying to people please. I'm trying to always give the client what they want. I'm trying to bend and shape and mold myself and research and go in this direction and go in this direction to just simply try and give the client what they wanted for 50 quid, which was nothing. And then I realized I needed the client to fit in with me. And it had to role reverse. And then I changed my approach and I created a system for working with clients called One Sourcing. I call it One Sourcing. And I restructured my business and my consultations accordingly to work within this system. So the transformation that happened to me after I introduced One Sourcing into my business is that I'm now able to go through my consulting process in a fraction of the time that it used to take me before. Okay, I can literally roll this thing out in next to no time at all because of how I've structured things. And that structure requires expertise. It does. I have had 100% success rate of clients wanting to move forward with me from the proposal process. Okay, so when you think about it, when I talk to people, from the moment I talk to people, from the moment I do the free consultation and move into the proposal, I've had 100% success rate of clients wanting to work with me. I don't always want to work with them, but that's your choice at the end of the day. And that's your prerogative at the end of the day about whether you decide to choose to work with people. So that's also an experience of mine that's happened. And instead of charging £50, which is what I used to charge, I now charge between £3,000 and £5,000 for my consulting. And this is more profitable than any other virtual assistant service that I have ever offered in my business. I do administration, I do marketing, I do creative services as well. And this is the most profitable. And when we talk about profitability in a business, we're talking about the least amount of time injected into it for the maximum amount of profit. So this is the most profitable service that I've ever offered. So now it's your turn. We're going to teach you the content. So I want to show you my proven 5-step consulting strategy for securing any client you want. Like I say, this is at 100% success rate. I've not had a single client come back to me and not want to work with me. It's always been, okay, I want to work with you. And it's always about whether the client accepts my terms. So once we do that, once we go through this process, I know I can secure any client. I mean, I'm that confident about it. I'm that confident I know that this process can secure any client. And then it's about whether, do I want to work with you? And that's the kind of beauty of this and what it's all about, because this is kind of like, it turns everything on its head. For so long, it's all about securing the client, and does the client want to work with me, and how can I convince the client to work with me, and this, that, and the other. But this is not about that. This is about, okay, whether this is now about you interviewing the client. Like, do I want to work with you? That type of thing. So it all begins with this concept that I've come up with called a 3S formula. And I run this through my business, and it works every single time for multiple different industries, business models, everything like that. And it starts with this. The first thing in the 3S formula, because it's all S's, is the systems. So as an online service provider, you have to know and understand the systems that you're going to work in. When we talk about systems, this could be something like the system that you use to build websites in. It could be the system that you use to provide your customer support in. It could be the system that you use to do the client launches in webinars. It could be anything, but you need to know your systems. Don't spread yourself too thin and think, I've got to know everything, okay? Because you don't. Work within the systems that you enjoy working in, that you love to work in. Those are the things you got to work in. So the first thing is to really know your systems. The second thing, once you know your systems that you're going to work in, and it doesn't have to be all systems, it's got to be your select systems, you then move into the services and the strategy. So the consulting process does give people a strategy, but it's a strategy based on the services you offer, because what you ideally want to do at the end of this process is to sell those services to people you're consulting to. So you need to get your services in place. What do I do that's task-based? Task-based services are things that don't have a specific outcome or a specific results-based outcome. Like, for example, posting a social media post is a task-based service. Saying that you're going to get so many friends on a Facebook page is a results-based service. So you need to know the difference between task-based and results-based, very important. And then you need to have that balance in your consulting process of, this is what I do that's task-based, this is the result that's going to come out of it. And then finally, you need your support. So the support is the part where you upsell your services beyond consulting. Okay, so this is the 3S formula that's going to really help. Basically, what's going to happen now is we're going to go through the. This is going to. Ready to consult. So now what we're going to teach, what we're going to go through is the consulting process. And it's a 5-step process. And the first step in this process, and again, if you have any questions, please leave them in the chat throughout this process. Anything that comes up while I'm talking about this, just leave it in the chat at the end. But step 1 is the application. So anybody you work with, if you're in a service-based industry online, you want them to make an application to you for your services. Now, the reason why we do this is for several things. The application process says I'm on authority and I don't just work with anyone, okay? So if you have a website, if you're a service provider, you have a website, what you don't want to do is be too available, okay? Because if you're too available, you will not be able to command or charge the fees that you are really, really worth, that are considered decent. We talked about decent before in this webinar. Whatever you consider decent. You don't want to be too available, too accessible, too free, like just come here and pay me and I'll work with you. Okay, so what we do is we introduce the application process or the funnel, which means actually it's not about you deciding whether you want to work with me. It's about me also deciding whether I want to work with you. And that brings everything into a mutual ground. It brings everything into a place where you're on the same level. Okay, so the application process brings any potential client coming into you onto your level, and then it's an even playing field from there. This is the first part of this process. It's really important. So you collect the prospect's data through a form or a funnel. First of all, it's a series of questions that you have to go through. Then you decide if the prospect will progress. So this is your decision at this point. You've gained your power, okay? So we're talking about empowerment here in business, and you have simply, through this one simple first step, gained the power in the relationship, because the client has to come to you and has to submit their information to say, can I work with you? And once you establish that, you've established the correct footing and the correct way forward. So you decide then if the prospect is worth you progressing. And if it's not, you could potentially refer that prospect out. So not only are we taking in prospects, we're also helping other people, because if you decide at that point when they submit that form and answer those questions, no, this guy isn't quite right for me, this girl isn't quite right for me, then you can potentially refer out to other colleagues, and then we're helping each other in the industry as well by doing that. So this can be the foundation of all your marketing efforts, is basically sending people into this funnel, sending people into this forum that they have to submit to you. And this is how I do all my business right now. This is how everybody comes to me and applies to work with me, is through this forum. The second step in this process is the connection. Okay, so what happens is, this point is you give a 30-minute to 1 hour call, and it's free. But the really important thing is you understand that the 30-minute to 1 hour call is not to give away everything that you know for free. It's to simply establish rapport with that client. Okay, so once you establish the rapport, there is always that boundary that's already gone over, because they've had to apply to you. So they're coming to you and they're saying, I need you. You haven't done anything. And at that point, in the 30-minute to 1 hour call, you establish a connection, you establish rapport. You say, okay, this is who you are, this is who I am. How can we potentially work together? What can we potentially do here? Let me discover more about you. And once you do it, during that discovery call or that process, that 30-minute to 1 hour call, you do it free, but you're not giving away anything for free. Okay, you're not giving away your expertise for free. You're simply deciding, are we able to work together? Are we a good match? Are we a good fit? Once you decide that, you can decide whether that prospect is a good prospect for your 3S formula. And this should be the only conversation that you'll need to have with the client until you get paid. So you're establishing that rapport, and then you're saying, okay, well, this is how I work. I have my systems, I have my services, and I have my support. And this is basically how I bring together my ability to support you and help you. But you're not actually giving away any specifics or any details during this process, and that's really, really important. But you're still giving the knowledge that the client needs in order for them to decide, yep, I think I want to move forward with you or not. And you're also establishing that from your end as well. So this is why it works really well. Step number 3 in this process, once you've done that, is the proposal. The proposal is a real pinnacle part of this, because what you're doing inside the proposal to the client is you educate the client on your service, on your 3S formula, and you educate them throughout that. Also, you outline the process in the proposal of working with you. And the nice thing about doing this in a proposal format is that generally the proposal format could be the same for every client that you've just done the consultation with. And this is quite powerful, because once you get to the proposal process, this is usually where a lot of VAs will tend to kind of give all their advice and give it their all and give everything. And then they realize that they've given it all away for free, and then they don't actually ever get past the proposal process. So what we're doing here is not necessarily doing that, but we're just basically saying, this is what I offer. This is the outline of how I offer it, which is generally the same for every client, if you have your 3S formula really down. And in this proposal process as well, you're also tailoring it, like one page of it in my templates is generally tailored specifically to the client through the specific questions that you've asked the client in the initial free consultation. So at the proposal stage as well, it's not just a random generic template. You also can customize and say, I understand your business. I understand you. This is what you've told me. This is what I know you need. This is what I know you want. And that is all about teasing the client into saying, I'm good at what I do, basically. And once you know, like when I say tease, I don't mean like falsely tease or anything like that. I mean just basically saying, hey, I listened to you. This is what I offer, and I know what you need. Do you want it? And that's the proposal process. It's like, I know what you need. I'm demonstrating right now. This is who you are. This is what you need. And then you're saying, if you want it, I'm available. Okay, the next thing is that the prospect will be so impressed with what you're doing that you then can upsell and move on to the plan. And the plan is where you charge your consulting fee. So everything up until this point has really been quite passive on your side, because this process of the application, the initial consultation, and the proposal is pretty much, can be all very generic, very templated, just slightly customized if you know how to go about it and how to do it. But then you move into the plan, which is the paid element of this. So you do 3 things inside a plan, a consulting plan, which you charge for. The first thing is the operations planning, which is the systems that you use. Okay, so it's not rocket science. It's like, I use these systems. This is what I need to convey first of all in my plan, how the client is able to implement and use these systems for their purpose. The second thing is the income strategy, which is services that you offer. Okay, so the services that you offer is obviously the backbone of what you want to upsell after the consulting process. And this is why this consulting process, again, is so essential for any virtual assistant, any VA business, and it's so applicable as well to any VA business. And then finally, it's the support team. Now, the support team in my business, for example, is my team. It's a variety of different people that I work with from, you know, like, and we teach this on the One Sourcing Entrepreneur program and things like that. But it's also about, okay, do I want to offer this as a solo VA as well? So the support team is not just about, I've got to have a team. It's about simply, well, this is, even if I want to do this as a solo VA, I can offer these services. So that's basically what comes inside the plan. And then the prospect is now a client at this stage when they agree to the plan, and then it can progress in either one of 2 ways. But either way, the prospect is a client because you've charged for the plan. This is the moment where you start charging money. So you propose in the plan, this is what I'm gonna give you. This is the result you're gonna get. This is how I've understood you. If you're interested, I can then give you a plan. If you're interested in going beyond that, then I can then service you as a client. And that's when the delivery comes into play. So you've gone through these motions until you get to this final step, step 5, which is the delivery. So you send the plan and you schedule a call with the client after you've sent the plan of what it is that you want to do. And then in that call, you walk them through the plan that you've been paid for. Okay, you get paid for this plan. This is the most important thing. So you walk the client through the plan. And even if they decide not to work with you at the end, you've still not given your advice and your expertise away for free. So you have a call, you do a plan walkthrough call, you say, right, this is my plan, this is what you do, this step, this step, this step, this step, this is how it all works. And then you establish the next steps, and the future is decided from there. Now, majority of the time, you know, and because we're all service providers and we all know the amount of work that goes into the stuff, when I deliver a plan to a client, it's extremely rare that they are able to actually just simply take it away and go and implement it all themselves. They'll either need to have a team of people, they need to hire various freelancers, they'll need to do this, that, and the other. What we're looking for in this process is to then establish, okay, this is a headache for you, it's a lot to take in, I can just simply do this for you for this fee. And that's where you upsell the rest of your services from that point. So that is basically the 5-step system. That's how it works, that's how it's come together. And that is the system for not only securing the clients and getting your consulting strategy in place and getting paid for your expertise, but it's also about getting them in a long-term strategy as well. So if you're somebody who doesn't want to do the delivery part, if you're somebody who just wants to consult, this can also work for you. But you have to establish at the end who you're going to transfer them off to at the end. So you can work with potential other one sources, you can work with other virtual assistants, other people who are in the industry, and you can consult and you can say, this person knows how to take you forward from here. So you can even just set this up as a standalone consulting business with the delivery being done not necessarily by you, but by other people, or another firm, or another one source, or whoever it is you want to go to. So that is the process. Whether you want to set it up as an individual consultant business, you still go through that same process. Your delivery is just not with you, but with someone else. If you have the services and you have a VA business, at step 5, you can then upsell those services. Either way, you get paid for expertise and you've delivered a very valuable service, and what is seemingly a very high value service at the end of it to the client, because you have gone through those steps. But what we're doing as a consultant or as a VA is we're maximizing our time. Okay, so we're maximizing the amount of time it takes to be able to deliver that value, to deliver the value on what the client wants to see and needs and hears. So that's the process. Those are the 5 steps. I want to recap everything you've learned today, because we're coming to the top of the hour and I still want to do Q&A if it's possible. So to recap, you've learned where to direct your marketing efforts. And remember, step 1, it's directing all your marketing efforts into that funnel, into those initial questions where people apply to work with you. You've discovered that it's far more effective for generalist service providers to have a client fit in with their plan and not the other way around. Okay, so when I talk about generalist service providers, I talk about like really good all-round kind of virtual assistants, because once you get into an all-round, I'm good at so many different things, then you really need to rein it in. And when you rein it in, you need to realize that it's actually the client that needs to conform with you and not the other way around. You've got the 5-step framework, which I've just shared with you, for an effective consultation process, those steps 1 through to 5. And this can be adapted to any client in any kind of service-based industry or service-based business. So as long as you're providing some sort of service online, you can adapt this to any client in any industry, in any field. And that's kind of like the beauty of this process. It really, really works. So now you have a choice. We're coming to the top of the hour, and I'd love to be able to answer questions. So choice number 1 is to take what you've learned today, take that 5-step process and go and apply it yourself. And really, you can do this. Hopefully I've given you enough information about that process in our very limited time together that you're able to go in and implement something. Choice number 2, which some might consider the smart choice, is that you let me help you build your consulting business. And I'm so excited about this. This is probably my biggest passion in the VA industry, because consulting is probably the most overlooked but most profitable way to secure long-term business in as a VA. So I promised something that I was going to give you an opportunity to work with me. You can then now work with me through the One Sourcing Consultant program, which is a program, like I say, I released it last year. We went through the beta. So much good feedback came out of that beta. So many people saying, I started the consulting process. This person stopped me halfway through and said they'd never experienced anything like this before in their lives. Martha was one of them. I don't even know if she's actually here tonight, but Martha went through the consulting process, and during like the second week of going through this program, she set up like 2 or 3 consultations with clients, and they were like literally saying to her, oh my God, like no VA has ever done this with me before. This is what sets you apart. This is what I want to do. Okay, this is what I share with you. I want to set you apart from every other virtual assistant out there who doesn't use this process. So here's what the consulting program will do for you. It will help you pursue and achieve your financial goals in your business. Okay, so this is a real integral part of my 6-figure program, but it's really without wasting valuable time and resources on dead ends. When I talk about dead ends, I'm talking about clients who aren't going to pay you for your time. Okay, so this is the first thing we eliminate, and we try and really focus in on the clients who are actually going to pay you for your time and for your consulting and for your expertise, and who value that. Okay, second is you'll be guided step by step in developing an immaculate, I love the word immaculate consulting service and business. Okay, I'm talking about like no stone unturned, every detail accounted for. And what this means for you is that you'll aim to profit immensely from this, because all the guesswork and all the hard work is eliminated for you. So you won't have to invest incredible amounts of time, like literally over years, which is kind of what it took me. I hate to admit it, but it did, into like literally getting it right. And you'll be able to start providing consulting services in your area of expertise like within weeks. Probably some within days. If you're actually able to really apply yourself in the next week, 2 weeks, you could definitely have your consulting business up and running like now. And we're going to talk about like what you can actually charge for that. So how it works is there is a 5-part program where I guide you through exactly the exact consulting process, which I've used to like secure 100% of the clients, step by step. Then you'll walk away with a fully done for you system, like it's completely templated from start to finish, including all of my templates I use from the initial form. Like step 1, we talked about the application process. Step 2, we talked about the consultation call. I give you all the questions that I ask on the consultation call. Step 3 is the proposal process. So I just give you my proposal template where you just kind of fill in the blanks for your clients. Through the plan, again, which is all templated. So you'll see my complete plan. And I give you examples as well of the plans I've created for clients. Examples of the plans I've charged £3,000 to £5,000 for in any given time. So you'll see the actual plan that I give people in my own business as well, right through to the end where we go into the delivery, where we upsell the services. So it's all literally my templates and everything that's done for you. And you'll also be able to start charging what I consider, like I would absolutely not charge less than £500 for everything that I'm going to give you as part of this process. So if you're going to go into this and you're going to start consulting and using my templates, don't ever charge less than £500 for everything that I'm going to give you. And this is even if you're a complete novice, because there is so much work over more than a decade of my life gone into putting this together that it's worth way more than £500. But if you're coming in, you're a little bit like, I'm brand new to this, I don't really feel confident in charging for my consulting services right now, just start at £500 and see where it takes you. Because believe me, every person that you consult with is going to be so satisfied at £500. They're going to be like, I definitely would have paid more for this, for sure. So the program itself is the One Sourcing Consultant program. And hopefully you'll be able to see now a call to action. There is like a green button if you want to go and check out this program. But what I want to do is just walk you through it right now so you can see exactly step by step. So part one is the application process. And basically I do a video session with you that comes with a presentation and transcript and an audio as well. And we're going to look at building the funnel for the application process. So do you remember when I was talking about in the 5-step formula, we talked about how we need to bring the client in on a level playing field with you, on an even keel. This is the funnel that will do that up front. And the materials that come with this session include the complete set of funnel questions that I use, and also the ones that I use in various different areas of my business where I'm doing consulting. And you get to customize those to your own business as well. So this is where you'll direct all of your marketing efforts, like literally all of your efforts. If you want to secure clients, send them into this funnel. This is one direction. This is all you need. Okay, so it's basically all done for you. And that will filter in the new prospects, so you don't end up working with clients that you don't really want to work with. Part two is a connection. So in this session, we'll go through how you do the initial connection call. And the materials that come with this session, this is like 30-minute to 1 hour call that I was talking about in part two. So this includes the exact consultation workflow that you need to go through. And believe me, this is something I've been perfecting again over years, like the exact flow and the exact process that I need to take this client through to literally be like, oh my God, I can't wait for my proposal at the end of it. So you'll get all the questions in all the exact order that you need to ask them in, and hopefully for you, it will just flow naturally from there. You don't have to think about it anymore. So the exact consultation workflow that I still use, and a data collection template for you to use as you lead the call. So you're going to lead the entire call. By the end of this consultation process, like, the client's going to be so impressed with you, they're not going to know what to do with themselves. They're going to be like, oh my God, no one's done this to me before, for sure. So this is where you build immediate trust and immediate rapport with the client without giving away your expertise. But at this point, what all you're trying to do is establish, do I really want to work with this potential client? And I'm going to have them extremely ready to work with me by the end of this call. So that's what you're doing. You're prepping them to have them work with you. And at the same time, you're also assessing them yourself. Okay, so you really want to assess the client at this point to know whether you want to work with it. So you can both basically feel at ease and very excited, hopefully, to work with each other. Part three of this program is all about the proposal. So in this session, we go through how to create the initial proposal for securing the business. And remember what I said, this proposal is not about you giving away your expertise. This proposal is about saying, I understand you and I'm willing to work with you if you want to pay me to go on to the next area or the next phase or whatever it is you want to say, or the next step. So this is what we do in this bit. So the materials that come with this session include the proposed templates that you can adapt to any client in any situation. I've made this really super easy for any VA, no matter what you do, whether it's admin or marketing services or social media or the website proposals or anything like that, creative stuff. I've made this super adaptable to any kind of VA or any kind of industry. So you can do that. And this is where you show that you've been listening and that you understand them. And that is what's going to, like, basically impress the hell out of them, which is what we want to do. But it's also to best serve them. Then part four is the plan. So part 4 or module 4. And in this session, we go through creating the very comprehensive plan and strategy that sells your service. And this is the part where I say don't charge less than £500 for the plan. So the materials that come with this session include the plan template, which I give you. So this is fully templated. You don't actually have to think about this too much. What you do is you just take what I've given you and then you adapt it to your own service. So I give you the entire plan template. Sometimes my plans run into multiple different pages with the contents and things like that, but the client's going to be super impressed. Regardless of whether you just take the plan and customize it as is, it's going to be worth way more than £500 to the client. So therefore, I suggest that you don't charge any less than £500 for what you're going to be given inside this module for the plan. And again, like I say, this is a loan worth thousands of pounds to the client. just like literally what I'm giving you inside this particular module. And don't forget, you get instant access to this entire program immediately. It's not like it's drip fed or anything like that. It's entirely available to you right now. Then part 5 is the delivery. So in this part, we look at how to deliver the strategy, you do the follow-up call, and establish the next steps to secure the client. So this isn't just about a consulting process. This is really about securing client business as well, because this is kind of like the entire part of it. So it's like being paid to secure client business, which is really good. So the materials that come with this session include the follow-up process, how to take things further with the client, how to sell your services at the end and secure that long-term business. And this is where you secure the future business for yourself, or at least if you don't secure any future business at this point, you can either then transfer it onto another VA who's more suitable for the client, but at least either way you still get paid because you're being paid for your expertise. So at this point of the process, you've been paid. So you also, as well as that entire program and all the templates and all the video training and the audios and the presentation, the transcript and everything like that, you also get the private Facebook group. And don't forget, you as well, you get our calls every month. So every single month, for anyone in my one sourcing training, no matter what stage they're at, gets access to a Q&A call every single month. So you can come and ask me any questions you have about taking the program or the course. But not just that, you also get to ask me about, Michelle, I've got this consultation coming up. How should I go about this? Or Michelle, this person's asked me this question. How shall I secure the business? How can I go this way? How can I go this way? What shall I do here? What would be the best approach at this stage? So it's not just about going through the training and asking questions about the training. It's like having access to these calls in this Facebook group so you can actually say, I've got this potential client, what do I do here or what do I do here? And then I'll be able to guide and advise you at each stage of your business as to how to go through that, whether you're established, whether you're taking the training, or whether you've got clients that you're securing right now and you just need to like offboard and offload and say, I need help. Anything that you need, you will have ongoing for the entire life of the programs. So this is also something you get, and that requires plenty of support from my end, which I'm willing to give to you. So this is really unique, guys, because unlike most courses that just tell you what to do, you're actually getting the complete done for you system. It's fully templated. It's all my system as well that I use in my business. I have a multi-six-figure business. I'm in servicing clients since 2005. So I know a little bit about this stuff. And this is the exact templated system that I use in my business that has taken me more than a decade to actually structure and put in place to the point where it's so accurate and it's working so well. And then what this means to you is that you'll save hundreds of thousands, probably, of hours of trial and error at crafting these yourself. And it also means that you'll skip all the guesswork that I did, which was a lot. And you'll go straight to my proven strategy, which I'm really so happy to be able to deliver to you after all these years of figuring it out myself. And your transformation is that basically you will never struggle with giving advice again and actually being paid for it, which is so important. You know, so many of us like give ourselves away for so little or for nothing sometimes. And that doesn't do us any favors. It doesn't do our self-esteem any favors, our self-confidence, our self-worth, our self-value. It doesn't do us any favors at any level. It also doesn't do the client any favor because they're not investing in this advice. So maybe you're given the advice, but because it's free for them, they'll be like, well, maybe it's not that great because she gave it to me for free or he gave it to me for free. Well, you don't want to do that, okay? So what we want to do is, this is best for you, this is best for the client. And picture this, you'll have a steady stream of prospects coming in and you're able to successfully convert them into paying clients for your consulting business and potentially paying clients for your service business as well. So you'll get results and you'll feel incredible for it. And that's basically what the aim of the game is. So this will provide you with a very profitable revenue stream to be able to build authority in your business and help secure long-term clients. and get those clients off on the right foot. Okay, so that's another really important part of this. There's so many benefits to it. You'll have a clearly defined structure in place for your consulting service and for filtering prospects to completion of your consulting funnel, where your clients then choose their next steps. You're not trying to sell or push or convince them to do anything. All you're trying to do is say, you decide what's best for you. Here are your options right now. Okay, so this is what you do. This means no more struggling, trying to determine if a prospect is a good fit for you or for your consulting business. So you can focus on your time, your energy into the people who are the best ones for you, the best potential clients for you. And if they're not the best potential client for you, you then have the opportunity to offboard and say, okay, well, you can go here or you can go here. Okay, so we're all collectively helping each other in this process. And this is also the most straightforward way to build your consulting business, and you'll have complete confidence every step of the way. So your value today is a consulting program that normally costs £1,111. This is what I normally sell it for. But you'll also have access to my private members area and my Facebook group and my one-on-one calls every single month, or it's kind of like a one-on-one group setting. You get to talk to me via Zoom. So if you want to ask me a question, you can literally contact me directly on the call and ask me a question, although we're all together as a group. But it's basically completely done for you, customizable, templated consulting system. I give you everything that you need, everything that you could possibly want, including the support. And that alone is the value of £500. So your total value today is £1,611, but I'm not selling it at that price today. It's a special deal because you're on my webinar, because you're listening to this webinar, you're taking my training, that basically you get over £1,600 worth of program and course and support for only $797, and you get instant access to the entire course, like the whole entire thing. Like I say, this is not drip fed. You get immediate access to all the templates, all the training, all the video, audio, transcription, presentation, and all the customizable templates, which I use at every stage, for only $797. So you're saving £814. So all you need to do is click the green button to go and check out the information page. If you want to get registered right now, you can do that right now. But you'll get instant access to my consulting program, including everything in it. And this is the lowest price you'll ever get. Okay, I don't offer this price publicly, normally on my website. If you go to my website, you won't see this price on my website either. So this is the lowest price that you will ever get. And I just want to briefly talk about the results that people have achieved through OneSourcing and through my training, because I've been supporting virtual assistants now since 2011. I'm not new to this. And there have been many, many people who I've helped to quit their jobs, their day jobs, their 9-to-5s, to be able to buy their own houses, to be able to stay at home with their children, their babies, to be able to double, triple, and quadruple their income that they were getting from their normal jobs, to grow their business to 6 figures and beyond. We've got one lady right now inside the program who was on the last webinar, and she had 2 clients and was earning 6 figures from 2 clients. And I've also helped people travel the world, emigrate, and become location independent as well, just like me. So these are the kind of results that we've been getting from inside the programs. And again, these are all the people that you have access to. This isn't just about me teaching you. This is the community that you have access to, people who have been doing this through the training. And the results that even I've got for my own clients, because I also have product-based businesses and I teach people how to do various other things. So it's not like I'm just teaching this one thing. I'm able to help you in a variety of areas as well. But basically to help clients go from working all hours under the sun to just a few hours a day, or 1 hour a day in some cases, to grow into $1 million business, to have boundless time with their kids and for themselves, which is so important. This isn't all about making money. This is about freedom. To create thousands of dollars in monthly recurring income and to generate sales online when previously they had no luck selling anything online. So I've been able to achieve this as well for my clients. And this is through everything that I share in my consulting, everything that I share in the templates. So it's now Q&A time, and I'm going to turn my presentation off, and I am going to go to Q&A. So just want to say, first of all, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your time. I know we're already gone past the hour, but I do want to stay and stick around to help you with any questions that you have. So if you're excited about joining my consulting program, if you're excited about having instant access to everything that I've just discussed with you, not just the process, but like all the details of it, like which I can't possibly teach you in 1 hour, then you can just simply click the add to cart button, the green button that's there right now, and you'll be able to have access to that. Right now, I'm going to close my presentation. I will just want to go back to full screen, so just give me 1 second to do that for you now. And hopefully you can see me on my own now. And I really want to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, do please do the ask a question thing now. I am going to be able to stay here for as long as I possibly can to be able to help you with this. Okay, so Jane, hi Jane. Jane says, you helped me leave my job within a month. I know, that was so awesome. Jane joined One Sourcing, and literally within a month of her doing the One Sourcing, she was able to leave her job, and she's implementing One Sourcing within her own business now. So I'm so happy for you, Jane, and really, really pleased that you were able to do that. Bridget says she got the timing wrong. Yes, there'll be a replay, Bridget, don't worry. And Bridget, you've got the consulting program anyway as well, so you'll be able to get all of that training. I know that you're on that too. So I'm going to go to questions. Let's take a look. How do you advise setting pricing for consulting? Base it on hourly rates, having one fee for consult clients, or change it up depending on how the expertise? I would always say that consulting needs to be based not about time, but it's about value. So what results did the client get? One way, I had a conversation with somebody about this very recently, and it really kind of hit home to them when we talked about this. But it's really about what result is going to be based on the client. So this particular VA that I was talking to, we were creating a business for her, like a consulting service kind of business, where she was helping people find clients. Okay, so if you base that on hourly rate, you're just going to base it on the time it takes you to be able to do that job. But if you base it on the result to the client, so what is having a client worth to that client? So having a client, being able to source and find a client, could be worth £1,000 somebody else, or it could be worth £10,000 somebody else, or over the course of a year it could be worth £50,000 somebody else. So it's really worth thinking about, what is it worth to the other person? What is what I can share worth to the other person? You've really got to be diligent in adding up that value. Even if you teach people how to set up customer service portals or something like that, you've got to think at the end of the day, what is that worth for the end client? You've got to be able to really quantify it, because when you can quantify it, you can sell it to the client as, this is really worth paying and investing in. So that's where I kind of go with that. That's something I can help you on our calls together, when we get together on our One Sourcing calls every month. You know, if you're struggling with, well, how do I quantify this value to my client of what I can share with them? That's something we can discuss on those calls. You can submit a question to me in advance if you want, and we can go through it then. But that's, in a nutshell, basically how you do that. Next question, how do you direct people to your application when they're asking for advice, especially if it's an existing client or if it's a new potential client? I've had it come up where they would say, do I really need to apply to have you answer a question, which is never just a question, it's multiple questions, aka consulting. Okay, this is a really great question, and yes, it comes up, and on all you've got to do basically is stick to your guns and say, okay, well, if you want me to provide the best possible service, which is what I want to provide for you, and I know that you would want me to do that too, then yes, you have to apply. Okay, so do you want the best service or do you want a shitty service? Oh, you want the best service. Okay, then yes, you need to apply. So basically that's what it comes down to. It's about really conveying to the client actually, if you want me to give you my best, if you want me to give you my all, if you want the best advice, if you want me to be able to provide my expertise in the best possible way, this is how it needs to be done. This is my process of doing it. So you need to kind of do that. You may want to adapt, like, so in the consulting program, we go through this full consulting process based on if you're a first-time client. But what you can do is maybe come up with a mini consulting process based on this for existing clients, where you do it, maybe tweak it slightly, you know, like do it differently. And we can talk about those tweaks and the ones of course if you want to do that. But definitely have maybe a half application process. But either way, if the client wants advice, they're going to apply. So that's basically what I would do in that situation. How do you direct all your marketing efforts to your application page? You direct all your marketing efforts to your application page through basically adding the link anywhere and everywhere that you could possibly think. So when someone says to you, oh, I'm really interested in your services, what do you do, da, 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 the first thing you say to them is, actually, it's best for me to convey to you what I could do for you, not what I do generally, but what I can actually do for you. This is more advantageous to you. So therefore, go to my link. If you're in social media, when you do live streams, whenever you do Instagram posts, whenever you have social media profiles, anything that you have, the first call to action on your website, at the top of your website, you send people into this funnel. So when I say direct all of your marketing efforts, I mean whenever you're thinking about social media, whenever you're talking to people face to face, whenever you're doing anything, even on your business card, rather than send people to your main website, you send people to your funnel. So that's what I talk about when I talk about directing all of your marketing efforts. Next thing. Does the proposal contain cost of the plan, and then they would pay for the plan before you put it together? The proposal contains all the costs and the outline of the plan. Yes. So the proposal is for free, and I give it to you, and you can just literally when I make a proposal now, it probably takes me about 10, 15, maximum 20 minutes to customize, maximum 20 minutes to customize. If that. So now I've got it down to about 10 minutes, and it looks entirely customized to that client. So all the information in there looks like it's just been designed to give to that client, because you go through all the personal stuff. And in there, you also outline your costs for the plan. So you're saying, I want to do this for you. I can give you this. I can give you this result. I can give you this outcome. If you want it, this is how much it's going to cost for the plan, for the details. Okay, so you're saying, I can do this, this, and this. If you want the details, if you don't know it yourself, and 9 times out of 10, they won't know it themselves, then that's where you add the cost for the plan. And by that time, they're already admitting to themselves, oh my God, she knows so much more than I do. And that's where you charge for it. Next question, how does this work in conjunction with 0 to 6 figure plan? So in the 0 to 6 figure plan, the first thing we're going to work on is your task-based. Sorry, guys, if you're listening to the replay of this, or you're in the room right now and you don't know about the 6 figure plan on the 6 figure program, but I have just launched a 6 figure program, 0 to 6 figures in 12 months. And as part of that plan, you're going to go into consulting. So that's where this works. But this consulting process doesn't come in that program until a little bit further down the line, unless on our one-on-one calls as part of month 2, we decide to bring it forward a little bit. But I will decide that personally with you, each and individual one of you. Next thing, do I understand this correctly? You charge for making the plan and then charge for executing the plan. Charge for both things. The initial consultation, the initial application is free. The initial consultation call is free. The initial proposal is free. You're giving all that away for free. So it's a lot of free value right there. But then you charge for the plan. And then if you want to then upsell services, you then charge for those services. So the proposal outlines the costs of the plan. The plan outlines the costs of the ongoing services. So that's basically how that works. Next question, Laura. Are step 2, 3, and 4 completed in one call? No. Only 2 is completed in one call. And then you move on to, so basically, no, it's all separate. These are all individual processes. So in step 5, it says to send the plan. No, step 5 is once you've sent the plan, that's when you upsell the rest of the services and you do another call because you've already been paid at that point. So what we don't want to do is have you giving away all this information and then not getting paid for it. So like I say, step 1, 2, and 3 is all free. Step 4, which is when you go into, so you give the proposal. Step 4 is the plan, so you get paid for the plan. And then step 5 is the delivery, which is upselling the services. You get paid for that, or they can go elsewhere. It depends on how you want to play it. Depends on how your business is. It depends on numerous things that you want to decide or make a decision on, and when the client wants to make a decision on it. So 2, 3, and 4 is not completed in one call. Only the connection call is completed, and then you do the proposal, which is not a call, it's just a proposal. Then the plan is not a call, it's just a plan, but you do a follow-up after the plan is already delivered. Hope that helps. So the difference between step 4, walking them through the plan, outlining it, is explaining the service fees, and step 5, sending the plan and scheduling the call. Okay, I just want to outline this again to make sure it's all really clear. They come through the funnel, they do the application, you get on a free call with them for 30 minutes, up to 1 hour, up to you. You then send them a free proposal. Once they get the proposal, they decide if they want to pay you to move forward. At that point, they pay you for the plan. Once you go through the plan, as part of that plan that you've been paid for, you schedule another call where you can actually take them through the plan. And then at that point, you can also upsell the service from the plan. So I hope that makes sense. But again, we can go through this in more detail on the calls. Karen says, my website is not ready. Can I still join? Yes, you can do this without even any website, because I share with you the tools and things that you need to do without even having a website, really. You just need the funnel process. And most people, for the funnel process, to implement that initially, they use something called Typeform. Typeform is free for 10 questions. Although 10 questions is not part of the consulting process, we go way more in depth than 10 questions, but sometimes you can lump things together, or we can adapt it slightly, or you can just upgrade Typeform and get the full amount of the questions in there, but it's entirely up to you. But yes, Karen, you can join without a website. Meryl, I'm still building a skill set, so feel like I don't have anything to offer a client. Do you need to have a skill set first? No, I actually teach you pretty much everything from my own business. But if you don't have a skill set first, as part of the calls, you can come and talk to me, and we can have like a kind of dialogue about what potentially you can start with and start offering. Because the consulting process, yes, you do obviously need to have some kind of skill that you can transfer and say, I'm knowledgeable about this. But what most people don't realize is that they already know a great deal more than they think they know. So a lot of the times what I tend to do in the early stages is kind of weed out of people, actually, you do know this and you can create a consulting business around it, even though you think you don't know anything. So that's kind of what we do, Meryl, at the beginning, if you need help with that. If you want to just take what I teach, then you can also team this up with the One Sourcing Business Program as well. So basically my One Sourcing Consulting Program, all templates, is based on my One Sourcing Business Program. So the kind of two go hand in hand. And then if you literally want to learn some new skills, you can just marry those together, and you've got your business there, basically, because I've done it all for you. Heather says, quick question, reprice. Call to action says 50% off. I'm seeing a higher price on the landing page. Sorry, yes, it's not exactly 50%. The call to action is wrong. It was a lot more than that. I reduced it down to 1111, which is on the page now. Basically, it's 50% off if you include the value of the templates as well, which it doesn't quite work out, but it's 797. Next question. What are the best steps or ideas to get a potential client into your funnel? Definitely social media. We go through this process a lot. Like, I talk about this process a lot about the beta funnel. It's in the freelancer program, but basically go out there and post your funnel. Try to get people in. If you're starting from scratch, try to get people in on a beta test, which is like offering the service for free to one person in exchange for a testimonial. What that will do then is you will get a whole bunch of applications coming in, and once people fill out all those applications, you've got a whole bunch of people that you could potentially pitch to at the end, which we call warm leads, because they've already expressed an interest in your service. So you do this through social media, through LinkedIn groups, through connecting with people on LinkedIn, through offering services to people, through offering services to anybody that you know, through email marketing, that type of thing. 1 second, it's telling me I've got to close up soon because I've gone over my time. So I'm going to try and get through as many questions as I can. But basically, when you have that link, direct anyone and everyone towards that link. Like I say, social media is a really good option. You could do Facebook ads, running people to the link. You could do just general building relationships in groups. A lot of Facebook groups, a lot of LinkedIn groups have like marketing Mondays and pitch your service. And there's like one called Freedom Hackers, which is run by Kimra Luna. And if you go into Freedom Hackers, like there is a place where you can pitch there 1 day a week and things like that. Just get yourself into all these entrepreneurial groups where your potential clients hang out, and then post that link to your funnel wherever you possibly can. One tip out of many that I can give to you, because we're on limited time. Is there any marketing strategy or advice offered in the program? Yeah, for sure. There is advice offered at every point, because obviously I want you to succeed at this. So like, I'm going to offer you advice on those calls, those group calls every single month. So if you take part in the program, what you can do is you can come and join the calls every month, and then you can say, right, I'm struggling with this. I need this. I need to find new clients. I need to get this. Well, what we're doing is we're not basing this on volume. We're basing this on like finding a few select people that you could potentially work with that are actually going to pay you what you're worth. So yes, in terms of marketing strategy and advice, it's offered inside the program, and you come on the calls and you can have access to all those replays as well of the calls. So Jenny, I hope that helps. Hannah, until when can we sign up for the discount? I may need a day or two. Yes, okay, so it's open for the next 4 days, I think it is. I don't know whether Megan's put the closing date on there, but it's around 4 days, 4 to 5 days. So you still have time. But what we'll do is when we send out the replay email, we'll give you the direct link to when it ends. Will the program or just being within the group help me re-identify best? Ends on the 26th. Thank you, Megan. Will the program or just being within the program will help me re-identify best people for me to direct marketing at, and how to track these people down without breaking the bank? Yeah, so I really focus, apart from Facebook advertising, which I use in my One Source in Business program, I focus really on organic stuff. So you shouldn't need any money in order to be able to obtain clients. I never suggest that people spend money specifically to be able to obtain clients for their service business. Product businesses are different, okay? So launching product businesses, digital programs, courses, that type of thing, everything in the One Source in Business program is very different. There I talk about paid advertising, but in this program, I purely work on organic reach, and we talk about organic reach in multiple different ways, but there is a system that I kind of set up for people to be able to help them to be able to do that, which you can discuss with me specifically about your specific industry, your specific niche, the people that you're specifically looking to target. Once you can tell me that, once you can come to me on one of those calls and say, Michelle, I'm looking for clients in this area because I do this service, then I will be able to help you more specifically with that. There's loads of information, loads of free information or information inside the programs themselves that can help you with that. But when it comes down to really drilling down into specifics, I need to help you, and that's why I offer the calls every single month, ongoing. It's like you just pay this one fee, and then the calls are yours, ongoing. You don't have to pay anything else, and you get updates to the program as well, ongoing. So yes, without breaking the bank, for sure. Okay, Laura says, after the second month call with the 0-6-figure one-on-one call, if I decide to go to the consulting route, can I still take advantage of a discounted consulting program? If you're in the 6-figure program, you already got the consulting program. Okay, so you don't have to worry about paying for it because you're in the 6-figure program. It's already included. Anyone in the 6-figure program that we just did last month, the launch, you already have the consulting program in there, so you don't have to worry about that. It's already yours, and it's already part of the process, so don't worry about it. We're going to come to that a little bit later down the line. It's all included. And I've done the questions. Awesome. Okay, so I really hope that helped. I really hope the Q&A at the end helped. I really hope that the formula will help you. Alida, so sorry I'm late. I had a meltdown to deal with the kids. Okay, we've all been there. I have 3 kids myself between the ages of 4 and almost 11. He's 11 in a couple of weeks. So I completely understand and relate to that. But don't worry, it's going to be absolutely awesome. So I really hope this helped. Guys, if you're watching the replay, don't forget to take a look at the programs and everything like that we're offering, the consulting program. If you're watching the replay of this and you think consulting is not for me, but maybe I want to go into some other area or offering services, do please write into support@virtualmissfriday.com, because we're always willing to help you with any questions that you have relating to any of the programs that we offer. This one is really heavily focused around because I wanted to teach you consulting, but I'm really also interested in many other different aspects of providing services online and digital products online. So thank you so much, guys. Any questions you have, like full disclosure, I have a customer support site. There's only 3 people in the customer support site. First is me, second is my husband, and the third is my personal assistant. So it's all confidential. It's all us doing very personal service. In there, we try to respond as quickly as possible to anything that you want to ask or anything that you have. And again, if you get any questions about this webinar that you weren't attending or on the replay, you want me to answer those for you, don't hesitate to contact us and leave those. I am so chuffed that we were able to make it. I do have to go because I am restricted on Crowdcast as to how long I can be on the webinar with you, but I've absolutely loved every minute. Thank you so much to everyone who attended, to everyone who stayed right till the end. It really means so much to me to have you here. And it's also one of my biggest passions to be able to help you as much as possible. So if you have any questions, Felicia, thank you so much. My owner, thank you so much. I probably didn't say that right. I'm so sorry. But either way, thank you so much for all being here. I appreciate you guys. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's been such a blast. I do these classes very regularly. Maybe we won't do one next month because we've got the retreat coming up in Egypt. But definitely for November, do please come to the next one then. Sarah, thank you so much. It's been awesome. I'm going to have an awesome time at the film festival. I'm going to go back now and check out and see if I can see Sylvester Stallone. Because I want to see Sylvester Stallone and Pierce Brosnan, of course, and Owen Wilson, who is also here. So I'm really hoping I get to meet them, or at least, somewhere from the shadows, wave and say hi. So that'll be fun. And I will see you guys on the next webinar. Thank you so much for attending. Take care. Much love to you all.